Hello! In this video, I'm going to show you how to customize this Google form template that you can use to have your students apply for classroom jobs. If you want to grab this template for free, you can get it in the link below this video. Before we get started, my name is Molly Malloy. I'm a fifth grade teacher in Southern California, and I also support teachers with implementing classroom organization systems, building a positive classroom community, and integrating technology in their classrooms. If you want more of all of that, come hang out with me on Instagram at Lessons with Laughter. All right, let's get started. I'm going to show you how to customize this Google form template, but keep in mind you can do this with any other Google form. To get started with, up at the top, so our school does trimesters, and so I do a different job application for each trimester. If you are not on the trimester system, you can easily change this to be whatever you want to use, however often you want to switch jobs, or you can just delete this whole sentence entirely. Down here, you'll see that these boxes I made required because you want to make sure that the student fills those out before submitting the form. You can easily toggle the required button on or off for different questions if you are adding more questions. So I always recommend having your first question be the student name, no matter what Google form you are doing, if you need their name. Down here is the part that you are probably most likely to customize for your classroom. And that's because these are specific classroom jobs that you may or may not have. So if there's any job that you don't have and you want to get rid of, you can easily just click on the X, over on the side, and it will delete that classroom job for you. The other thing you can do is type out the job description here. So in my classroom, we go over all the classroom job descriptions before they fill out this application. But if you don't, or if you just want a little reminder, you can easily type out a sample here of what the person does. So for example, calendar manager, you might want to type something like our calendar manager. What they do is they change out the calendar at the beginning of each month. So you can add job descriptions like that if you would like. And then if you want to add other options, other job options that you have in your classroom, you can just click down here and it will just type in the jobs that you want to have. I try to have enough jobs for every student to have one. And so some of these jobs, for example, librarian, we have multiple people who have that job. So keep that in mind also. Down here, I like having this question because I like to know what jobs the students are super passionate about and really want. The reason I have them pick 5 jobs up here is just so that I can try to give everyone a job that they are interested in. And so if everyone only puts their top 2 choices, sometimes it's harder to get them all a job that they selected. So that's why I do top 5 up there. And then down in this section here, they can type out more about which specific jobs are the top ones that they're really hoping for. So I can keep that in mind too when going through their responses. And then down here, this question, like I said, if you want it, great. If not, you can get rid of it too. There's this trash can delete button here that if you don't want this question, you can get rid of. But I always like to know if there's other classroom jobs that students think would be good in our classroom. Sometimes they come up with really creative ideas and solutions to things that I hadn't thought of. So I like keeping that one in here as well. If you want to add another question, you can just click on this add question button and it will pop up with a question. Let's say you want students to type in their address. Not that you necessarily will need this information, but just to give them the extra practice of doing it. Then you can have them fill it out here, toggle that on to required, and you're set. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that for right now. But anyway, you can customize this form in so many different ways to make it work for what you are looking for your classroom. Okay, 2 more things I want to talk about: sending it out to your students and then looking at student responses. So first of all, to send it out to your students, you're just going to click on this send button. And then you have a few options. So if you are a school that uses Google Classroom, that's what we use in my classroom. And so all I have to do is take this link, I just shorten it, and I copy it and I send it out in Google Classroom. So it's super easy on the students' devices. They just have to click on the link, they go right here, they fill it out. If you do not use Google Classroom, no worries, you can still use it. A really great way to get the link to students is to create a QR code for them to scan. So in that case, you're just going to take this link here, I'm going to copy it, and then you can go to a website like this one here. It's just qr.io. It's super simple and easy to use. All you're going to do is come down here and paste your website that you just did, and it comes up with your QR code. So right here is a QR code. You can download that to your computer. When you have it downloaded, you can either display it on your screen for students to scan. You can print out a paper copy for them to scan, however you want to do it. But it gives you the QR code that if students have devices that have picture capabilities, they're able to take a picture and it will take them right to the application to fill out. All right, last thing I want to cover today is the responses that I just love because it makes assigning student jobs so easy. So in order to see student responses, you're going to click on the response tab and then click on the create spreadsheet. It's going to create a new one. You can also rename it. So right now, actually, I'm going to go out and do that real quick. If you made a copy of the template I gave you, it's going to save it as copy of. So you can delete that. You can title it like trimester 1 or the school year or whatever, however you want to title it. So let's come up here. We're going to create a new spreadsheet and then it's going to pop up. So right now, it's going to be empty because no one has filled out anything, but I just want to show you a couple of things that I do. So first thing is you can drag these over to make them a little bit bigger, especially this last one. And then you can see that, I should say these last two, how the text is super long like that. So you're going to click on this corner button over here. You can go to format and then wrapping and then wrap text. And then that way all their responses will be like nice and all in these boxes that you select. And then what I do next is I go through, you can either go through by student or by job. Let's say I want to search and see who applied for teacher's assistant. I just do Command 5 and then over here I'll type in, there's nothing here so it's not going to show up, but let's say I'll type in, for example, teacher assistant. Then over here it's going to highlight any student who selected teacher's assistant. So it's super easy to see at a glance which students applied for which jobs, if it was a job that was super popular and had a lot of students apply for it, or if it was a job that only one student applied for. It's super easy to see just from your one computer screen. And then as I go through, another tip, as I go through assigning jobs for a student, let's say person who is in line 4 that I assign them their job, I'll go through here and I'll fill in the color for that line. So that way, as I'm going through and assigning the rest of the student jobs, I know that that student already has a job, so I don't accidentally put them down for 2 different jobs. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. And if you want to grab this template, like I said, I also have the link to get the template for free in the box below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and come say hi on Instagram at Lessons with Laughter. That's where you will find me a lot more frequently. All right, have a great rest of your day.